Wadawurrung, hi, I'm Deanne Gilson. I'm a proud Wadawurrung woman, a visual artist and a cultural educator. My art practice deals with looking at my ancestors' traditional marks and using traditional materials found on country. The paintings that I've created for WILAM BIIK are really just an exploration and extension of my ancestral knowledges. So what I've done is I've used ochre that I've found on country. I get everything from an ochre pit near my house, and then I grind it all up and prepare the ochre. And when I do this, it's almost like a ceremony in itself, where I just prepare the ochre and think about how my ancestors would have done things. And then as I'm painting, I just really allow that to just happen more intuitively and just explore notions of country and connection and place. The diptych for William BIIK was really an exploration. It traverses time. So my storytelling, I look at pre-colonial, what my ancestors were doing, and at the bottom of the painting, our women, in particular women's business, our women used to walk along Yarramloch, or today it's known as Wadawurrung Creek, and they were the fire carriers. And what happened was when colonisation hit Ballarat and the goldfields, the Chinese used to camp alongside my ancestors at Black Hill. So when the miners had done a day's work, they would come home and the women would be there with the fire. And that story is really important because my sister, Deanne Gilson, she works at DALP as a traditional fire officer today. And with all the recent bushfires and everything, it's so important to bring forward traditional fire knowledge. And that painting is the beginning journey of our fire story. Then we move up into colonisation and what happened with William Buckley living with my ancestors and what was happening there when he escaped from jail. And I've got a soldier in there hunting Buckley, but then I've got ancestral women who saw Buckley and thought with his white skin that he was an ancestral ghost. And so they celebrated William Buckley, and because they'd never seen a white man before. My practice is really centred around the cultural tree of knowledge, and in particular the manna gum and the banksia tree and the red gum, and the trees are our storytellers. And the tree knowledge for me centres me to country, the roots under country and the branches up in the sky. So that kind of the energy of the tree itself, I think that's really something I really just keep wanting to capture and be part of, and as if the tree and myself are one, and that is so important to me. Moving forward, I'm sure I'll be making many more trees, and I just want everybody to embrace country and the plants and the trees and everything on country, and maybe reflect on that when they walk through the space, that these are really important and we need to value them and take care of them. The last few years, we've all been part of Tanderrum, and for us, that way of all connecting back, all the Kulin mobs, coming on country and connecting together. It's stronger than just me making art on my own. I'm not alone, and with men and women who are Aboriginal people living in Victoria and celebrating our culture and all together and telling these stories. And it's so important because this hasn't really happened in my lifetime, to be honest. I'm my mid-50s, and there was no culture growing up or anything. It was all taken from us. We weren't allowed to even, nobody even mentioned the word culture, and nobody was interested either. So now, all of a sudden, we've got Australia looking at their First Nations peoples and artists and our stories and valuing our history and our knowledge, which has never happened. So I guess for me, being part of that is really amazing.